Nancy refused to back down either and rode back. Sure. Fire me then. I don't care. Get the fuck out of here right now. That I will show you. The man's humiliation turned into rage, and he shouted at Nancy. The other staff members on the floor turned to look at the outburst, but none of them dared to say anything. Just then, Wilbur finally returned to his senses to say, "Dude, could you watch that tone of yours a little?" The man turned to look at Wilbur. "Who the hell are you? Stay out of my business." "And who are you?" Wilbur retaliated. "I'm not going to just stand and watch you bully my classmate." The man barked out a laugh. "Norman Setter, general manager of the shop. I can fire her if I want to. What are you going to do about it?" It was obvious that Norman did not think much of this classmate at first. To him, there was only so much the classmate of a retail worker could be capable of. Wilbur did not respond to him. Instead, he turned to look at Nancy and asked, "What happened?" Nancy sighed. "He's been harassing me for a long time. I've had enough." Wilbur pretty much understood the situation then. This guy was pretty much abusing his position as general manager to harass his subordinates and would get angry if the gesture was not reciprocated. People like this were truly too much. Wilbur looked at Norman coldly. "You're firing her? I think your time as a manager is up." "What did you say?" Norman stopped short before laughing loudly. "You're a really funny guy. I've been the manager here for over a decade. I'd like to see if you can get me fired." Wilbur smiled. "I might not be able to do that, but the CEO of Willow Corp just might." "Huh. As if someone like the CEO would know someone like you. Don't you think your story's a little hard to believe?" Norman did not believe that the skinny little guy would know the CEO of Willow Corp at all. Besides, Willow Corp was going through an internal restructuring at that moment. The previous CEO, Yvonne Willow, had just resigned in the morning, announcing that she would pass the company to her sister, Chelsea Willow. Chelsea was young and inexperienced, and Norman had been at Willow Corp for over a decade to be considered one of the company's more experienced workers. Even if Wilbur did really know Chelsea, she would never dare fire him. The reason he dared to act this way was because of the situation at the Willow Corp, so he had nothing to be afraid of. Just then, Nancy's colleagues could not help but sigh as well. They knew that Norman was a pervert who often harassed the prettier staff members. There were even a few staff members who had fallen victim to his harassment and ended up succumbing to it. He had fired everyone else who had turned him down, and it could be said that everyone working here was a little afraid of him. With Nancy retaliating like this and this classmate of hers kicking up such a fuss, there was no way Nancy was going to be able to keep working here anymore. To tell the truth, Willow Corp treated their workers pretty well. They provided insurance and health benefits among others, all while paying a more than decent wage to get by. No one would want to just quit like that, especially with how difficult it was to get a job. Yet Nancy had made her mind up and said to Wilbur, "Whatever. Forget about him. He can fire me if he wants to. I'll be fine looking for another job." Yet deep down, she was a little scared. But it was not Norman she was afraid of. It was Wilbur. She had seen just how powerful Wilbur was, and he could very well break all the limbs in Norman's body with just a snap of his fingers. That would be really bad. She did not want Wilbur to get into trouble just because of her. Wilbur smiled. "Oh, don't worry about that. If anyone's quitting, it will be him. How about you take on the position of manager from here on out?" Wilbur's words caught Nancy off guard. Had he lost his mind?